What does it feel like to ride a motorcycle over 300 miles per hour? And how much are you prepared to push the limits of speed on nothing more than two wheels and an engine? For a select crew of daring bikers, their custom-built rocket bikes allow them to thunder across salt flats and deserted runways at double the velocity of some sports cars, achieving over 300 miles per hour. These extreme machines, crafted for sheer speed using cutting-edge aerodynamic principles, provide a uniquely intense thrill. As we explore the various motorcycle land speed records set on the planet's fastest bikes, we'll meet the bold riders and ingenious designers who live for velocity. What does it take to go faster than any cyclist in history? How swift can a two-wheeled bullet actually travel? And are you prepared to handle a bike built to hit highway speeds on no highways at all? 14. Yamaha VMAX. When Yamaha debuted the VMAX in 1985, it shook up the cruiser world with muscular, aggressive styling and unbelievable straight-line performance. While the cruiser category prized style, comfort and tradition, the VMAX delivered astonishing acceleration that shamed contemporary sport bikes. At the heart of this machine pulsed a 1,197cc liquid-cooled V4 engine, putting out an amazing 120 horsepower. Giant output for the mid-1980s and unheard of from any production cruiser. The compact, high-revving power plant incorporated Yamaha's V-Boost technology, advancing ignition timing and increasing the compression ratio to add around 10% more peak power. Combined with the bike's relatively light 584-pound wet weight, this gave the VMAX world-class acceleration. In period tests by magazines, the VMAX could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds, thanks to the tremendous power and torque. To put that in perspective, Kawasaki's Ninja sport bike took almost a full second longer in the same test. The VMAX topped out at 150 miles per hour, which wasn't a record, but shockingly fast for such a blunt instrument shaped by the aerodynamic profile of a shoebox. No matter what gear you were in, pinning the throttle produced warp speed acceleration along with the shriek from the four tiny exhaust pipes. 3 decades later, those performance figures still put the VMAX among the quickest accelerating motorcycles ever produced. But unlike modern sport bikes, extracting that performance required serious commitment and some upper body strength. The unsophisticated 52-degree V4 vibrated intensely at higher RPM, transmitting substantial shaking to the rider. Noise levels exceeded even straight-piped Harleys, while other cruisers optimized the classic V-twin rumble for max smoothness and passenger comfort. VMAX riders endured the engine buzz and rock-hard seat for the thrill of outrageous speed produced by a cocktail shaker motor. It was a raw, unfiltered experience, closer to a nitro-burning dragster than a rolling lounge chair. No longer made after 2020, this outrageous machine retains an enthusiastic cult following decades later. For riders seeking blistering acceleration wrapped in muscular old-school cool, the VMAX name still carries magic. Its formula has never been replicated despite smaller displacements and higher technology, arguably because no sane product planner would ever again approve such a single-minded mechanical bull, adapted so narrowly around straight-line acceleration. 13. Kawasaki Ninja H2R 14R. In the 1990s, Kawasaki's ZR1400 defined the cutting edge of sport tourers with its 135 horsepower engine and 153 miles per hour capability. When restrictions on power limits eased, Kawasaki returned this platform into the even quicker Ninja ZX14. Then for 2012, displacement bumped to 1,441 cc, and acceleration entered the realm of space shuttles. With 200 crank horsepower now available, Kawasaki quoted 210 horsepower for the ZX14R model with Ram Air, essentially using aerodynamic pressure at high speeds to force more air into the engine for free power gains. No matter the source, the Big Ninja utterly annihilated acceleration and top speed benchmarks for production vehicles with epic 9-second quarter-mile times. Professional testers found the ZX14R capable of a 2.5-second 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint, along with sub-10-second quarter-mile times at over 150 miles per hour using just basic bolt-on modifications. But unlike highly strung superbikes, that incredible turn of speed merged with a comfortable riding position, reasonable vibration levels, and decent fuel range that invited traveling long distances. 10 years later, nothing mass-produced really matches this combination of usable power and practicality. While the latest 200-plus horsepower superbikes leave the ZX14R behind on track, this Ninja can still outrun them in a straight-line race. Few riders ever truly tap the potential of this friendly rocket ship. For 2023, Kawasaki continues selling the ZX14R powered by the 200 horsepower engine, now with modern infotainment connectivity and advanced rider aids. Priced at $16,599 with ABS, it's a performance bargain at just $2,000 more than a Ninja 400. Sure, a H2SX might beat it outright, but normal humans can actually access the ZX's speed rather than just read about it online. 12. Triumph Rocket 3. Powering a motorcycle with a 2.5-liter engine might seem excessive, yet Triumph's 2500cc inline triple Rocket 3 engine delivers outrageous acceleration wrapped in cruiser styling and comfort. Launched in 2017 and updated for 2020, it defines the modern muscle cruiser category. That mammoth triple-cylinder churns out 165 horsepower alongside 163 lb-ft of torque, enabling 2.73 second zero, 60 sprints repeating through the gears until over 177 miles per hour. Compared to traditional cruiser V-twins limited by vibration, the Rocket Triple extends power delivery all the way from 2,000 to 6,000 revolutions per minute. Peak torque hits at just 4,000 revolutions per minute, right in the heart of the usable range. Accelerating hard on the Rocket 3 feels effortless despite its 709-pound curb weight, thanks in part to a low center of gravity. Handling remains responsive up to about 80 miles per hour before the weight starts taking over. But that agility combined with wicked acceleration lets a skilled rider embarrass unwitting sport bikes. Comfort matches the performance with an erect riding posture, pulled back bars and forward foot pegs. Generous suspension travel soaks up road impacts, augmented by the torque reaction of the shaft drive softly compressing under power rather than violently yanking the rear wheel skyward. It's pure American muscle married to sophisticated British chassis engineering. Priced at $23,895, Triumph's range-topping cruiser seems almost a bargain next to a fully loaded Honda Goldwing. From its menacing silhouette to the thunderous triple exhaust, the Rocket 3 makes a bold visual statement before disappearing toward the horizon at speed. No competitor really matches its capabilities. 11. Suzuki GSX-R 1000. The first Suzuki GSX-R 1000 debuted in 2001, replacing the GSX-R 1100 and introducing a new level of razor-sharp superbike performance. That original model weighed just 179 kilograms wet, with a powerful and compact new engine tuned for maximum racetrack potential. Success was instant, and Suzuki began its ongoing domination of the 1000cc sport bike category. Generational updates modernized the electronic rider aids while keeping weight down, but the 2005 launch of the K5 engine took GSX-R performance to another level. Separately, the bike's top speed was rated at 186 miles per hour. Connected to a slipper clutch and matched titanium exhaust, acceleration felt limitless. Independent dyno testing of a completely stock 2006 Suzuki GSX-R 1000 measured 172 horsepower at the rear wheel, a figure that still matches top superbikes 15 years later. Just as impressive was the torque curve, churning out over 80 lb-ft of torque by 8,000 revolutions per minute. That allowed testers to record an insane 2.3 second 0 to 60 miles per hour time, along with standing quarter miles in the 10-second range. Sure, that kind of acceleration demanded precision clutch work and perfect timing to maximize explosive power delivery without looping the bike. Novices would struggle to hit those figures, but in expert hands, the K6 GSX-R 1000 delivered utterly breathtaking speed that shamed exotic Italian superbikes costing 5 times more. It immediately elevated this Suzuki to Hall of Fame status alongside the game-changing early GSX-Rs. While traction control and ABS now make the latest 2024 GSX-R 1000 safer and more accessible for average riders, its complete track focus and stunning engine performance continues distinguishing Suzuki's icon as the most dominant name in 1000cc sport bike racing over the past 20 years. 10. Ducati Desmosedici RR. Since its 2003 MotoGP debut, Ducati's ultra-exotic Desmosedici race bike gained fame for taking the fight to dominant Japanese factories with advanced design and sheer Italian passion. For 2007, Ducati made history again by producing the world's first road-legal MotoGP replica for customers in the form of the Desmosedici RR. The bike's odd name comes from its desmodromic valve actuation, allowing precise control at stratospheric engine speeds. Fed by racing-spec 44mm throttle bodies, the liquid-cooled 90-degree V4 engine displaced 989 cc. With a staggering 188 miles per hour, just 1,500 would be individually hand-built on a dedicated production line within Ducati's Borgo Panigale race shop, ensuring race team levels of detail and accuracy. Internally, the motor featured sandcast crankcases housing titanium valves and conrods, along with a cassette-style 6-speed gearbox designed for rapid ratio changes. Series regulations limited output to just 200 horsepower, but the RR engine screamed to a 13,800 revolutions per minute redline, unmatched by any road-going machinery. Helping translate that power with superbike precision, the double-sided swing arm incorporated adjustable ride height and pivot point. Weighing just 377 pounds ready to ride, the Desmosedici RR boasted a power-to-weight ratio even today's racist superbikes can't match. Despite street-legal equipment like lights and mirrors, testers recorded a 2.7 second 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint time, along with 9.7 second quarter-mile passes, incredible for the era. Even more incredibly, the engine could last 15,000 hard miles between rebuilds despite living its life near 9. BMW S1000RR. Germany might be known for sophisticated sedans and utilitarian SUVs, but BMW makes a shockingly effective leap into the cutthroat superbike market with its game-changing S1000RR, first launched in 2008. Developed specifically to dominate the World Superbike Championship, it reset acceleration and handling benchmarks through a laser focus on combining maximum power with minimum weight. One glance shows the aggression and forward weight bias associated with the latest superbike thinking. Aerodynamic winglets and intake runners feed a 999cc inline-4 engine, churning out a competitive 193 horsepower at launch. But BMW applied advanced electronics like traction control and ABS that were cutting edge in motorcycle circles, enabling even average riders to explore its limits of grip. Constant development since 2009 has seen output now reach 207 horsepower in street trim, more than most rivals. On BMW's internal test track, where no speed limits apply, test riders have recorded top speeds exceeding 190 miles per hour in standard trim. Yet that doesn't overwhelm the rest of the package. The fully adjustable suspension soaks up bumps, powerful brakes shed speed without drama, and ergonomics stay comfortable hour after hour. While BMW has greater sales success with adventure and touring models, the S1000RR burnished its brand image via race championships and superbike shootouts. This $17,895 German missile functions equally well carving up a canyon road or dominating amateur track days lap after lap. Nothing else with license plates comes close to matching its accessible acceleration and precision handling capabilities at a similar price point. 8. Silver Lightning. Just like it happens with ice-powered motorcycles, road-going electric bikes are no match for their drag strip-prepped cousins. So fast as the Lightning LS 218 might be, we'll talk about that one in a bit, it's still no match for the Silver Lightning. And no, there's no connection between the two, except for the coincidence in name. Silver Lightning is the name of a custom drag bike built and raced by a Danish drag racing team called True Cousins. It was completed back in 2019 and uses LiPo batteries and 2 electric motors capable of developing a combined 1,300 horsepower. It was 3 years ago when True Cousins went to the Santapod Raceway in the UK to break a record there, and break they did, obliterating a time that had stood unchallenged for 8 years, 6.94 seconds. The new record time set by the bike's rider, Hans Henrik Thomsen, was 6.86 seconds for the quarter mile, while the top speed reached was 191 miles per hour. As these things go, it will probably be a long time still until someone goes faster than that. So as far as the title of fastest electric drag bike goes in 2023, it still belongs to the Silver Lightning. A fast acceleration time to a certain speed does not always ensure the highest top speed. As you'll see after, the bikes that top out at heart-stopping speeds are entirely different from the ones listed earlier, and unlike what we've seen so far, this bit also includes, for the first time, the only German motorcycle maker that matters in 2024. 7. MV Agusta F4 R 312. This exclusive Italian superbike came to life in 2008 as the road-going evolution of MV Agusta's four-time world superbike champion F4. Designer Massimo Tamburini focused on optimizing the 998cc engine and frame support for maximum speed along public roadways, embodying MV's heritage slogan, "Motorcycle Art." Extensive wind tunnel testing honed the F4's aerodynamics to minimize turbulence and drag. The engine incorporated a longer stroke along with 1 compression bumping power to 183 horsepower at a screaming 13,900 revolutions per minute. That allowed a 386-pound wet weight machine officially capable of 194 miles per hour given Italian test gearing regulations. Hence, the RR312 model name reflects its potential top speed in kilometers per hour. Independent tests on Germany's unrestricted Autobahn recorded verified top speeds surpassing 193 miles per hour using a long fifth gear ratio on an F4 RR312. Getting there demanded holding the tachometer needle against its 14,200 revolutions per minute limiter for long periods while laying almost prone across the low clip-ons. Less hairy quarter-mile times registered close to 10 seconds flat, hyperbike territory. On public roads or tracks, the RR312 hit apex speeds unmatched by two-wheeled machinery without forced induction or nitrous boosting power. Handling remained razor-sharp thanks to an Öhlins suspension matched with Brembo monoblock brakes, although longer rides revealed limited adjustability for those less flexible. Produced in limited numbers from 2008 to 2009, MV Agusta ceased production once engines met homologation requirements. Today, the F4 RR312 enjoys strong collectability as the fastest normally aspirated production motorcycle of its era alongside the Suzuki Hayabusa. Values now approach $75,000 USD for pristine low-mileage examples of this 198 miles per hour Italian missile. 6. Suzuki Hayabusa. When Suzuki pulled the wraps off its GSX 1300R Hayabusa for 1999, no production street bike came close to its ablation-style aerodynamic bodywork wrapped around a 1299cc engine tweaked to give one purpose: unmatched top speed. Engineers called it the ultimate sport bike in the world for the way it shattered every benchmark. Dyno testing, the secretive development process, indicated horsepower above 170 horsepower, enough for 150 miles per hour continual running. But when editors actually tested the Hayabusa prototype, top speeds shattered an incredible 186 miles per hour in 1999 form, handily beating the previous 174 miles per hour record holder. No production vehicle in existence went faster at its debut. With tweaks to the ram air intake and gear ratios, follow-up Hayabusa models eventually touched 194 miles per hour at speed shootouts in Northern Europe. Even 2 decades later, it retains elite membership among the exclusive 300 km/h production vehicle club thanks to phenomenal aerodynamics and power. Yet sheer speed doesn't fully capture the allure of what owners call the legendary Busa. Launched as an ultimate sport bike, its steel perimeter frame and fully adjustable suspension devour twisty roads. Fuel range reaches well over 150 miles, even when riding aggressively. And following various stages of engine detuning to satisfy regulations, reliable Japanese construction keeps Hayabusa ownership reasonable, even pushing 20 years and 50,000 miles. Today's model may be restricted to just 299 kilometers per hour for road use, but tuning packages and the aftermarket provide options to unlock even more performance from this iconic body shape. Priced from $18,509, the Hayabusa continues delivering unmatched public road speed wrapped in timeless styling. 5. Lightning LS 218. Because of the instant maximum torque electric motors provide, electric motorcycles seem to have the upper hand over their ICE siblings when it comes to acceleration. And that's true for both production, street-legal motorcycles and the ones made for the drag strip. On the road legal front, the Lightning LS218 remains the fastest production electric motorcycle in the world in 2024 as well. In production since 2014, the LS218 in the most basic of forms brings to the table a 15-kilowatt battery pack, good for a range of 188 miles. The battery supports an IPM liquid-cooled electric motor. It is this motor that has helped the LS218 win races at Le Mans and Pikes Peak. At 244 horsepower and 220 feet per pound of torque, it tops out at 218 miles per hour and was considered for a while the world's fastest production motorcycle. It also hits 60 miles per hour from standing still in under 2 seconds, which would make it faster even than the Suzuki GSX-R 1000 when it comes to acceleration time. The bike may have lost the title of fastest production bike in the meantime. No matter how you look at it, the Ninja H2R is faster. But the LS218 still is, even in 2024, the fastest production electric motorcycle on the road. One can be had for close to $50,000. 4. Kawasaki Ninja H2R. When Kawasaki shocked the world with its track-only Ninja H2R in 2015, its futuristic design and seemingly impossible horsepower numbers made headlines across the industry. With no concessions for emissions compliance or longevity, the H2R represented a laboratory for pushing performance boundaries farther than any sane road bike could tolerate across just its engine, chassis, and aerodynamics. Bored out to 998cc versus the stock Ninja motor, the H2R inline-4 feeds on high-pressure forced air from a Roots-type supercharger at its center. Additional ram air at speed forces even more intake charge into the combustion chambers, with Kawasaki quoting up to 326 horsepower with both systems fully operational. That's Ferrari 488 territory from an engine barely larger than a Ninja 650. Predictably, acceleration and top speed figures boggle the mind. 2.5 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour from a standing start. Crack 240 miles per hour, given enough empty runway. Watching on-board video of H2R test sessions is like viewing time travel as the digital speedometer climbs out of the atmosphere, claimed a record top speed of 250 miles per hour. Although wheel spin likely skewed the onboard instruments somewhat high, riding jet turbine thrust with no turbines highlights both the appeal and challenges of the Ninja H2R. Massive speed exclusively comes under ideal conditions at wide open throttle. No usable mid-range power exists when hardly moving. Forget comfort or versatility beyond living life as an appendage strapped to this orange missile pointed straight ahead. Traction only flows through racing slicks with perfect tarmac prep. Just 50 H2R models see public roads annually wearing racing plates rather than license tags, with Kawasaki internally tuning each one by hand. Acquisition cost approaches $80,000 when available through special allocation to track day riders and collectors. But for wealthy speed freaks, experiencing 300 plus mph capable acceleration justifies costs matching premium automobiles. Maybe the H2R hints at electrification with extreme electric turbocharging. 3. Suzuki-powered top fuel bike. Drag racing remains one of motorsport's purest contests. Driver versus driver, machines pushed to mechanical limits on quarter-mile strips without corners or complex rules to separate winners from losers. In the motorcycle ranks, top fuel bikes epitomize outrageous speed distilled to nitromethane-fueled rocket ships on 2 wheels lasting just long enough to set stunning elapsed times. Among these outrageous machines, the current world's fastest drag bike accelerates courtesy of legendary racer Larry Spider-Man McBride, tuning a Suzuki-powered creation he competes aboard himself. This single-minded pursuit of victory produced a motorcycle shattering all records since first rolling through the beams in 2006. That machine evolved across 16 years of development into its present form, launched down Virginia Motorsports Park in record-smashing form last October. The current 3000cc 90-degree twin Suzuki power plant gets tuned to burn nitromethane rather than pump gas, requiring a complete engine rebuild every other pass. Cylinders pump out an incredible 1700 horsepower at over 10,000 revolutions per minute on the way to an 8.49 second quarter-mile elapsed time at 263 miles per hour. Consider those numbers. Transforming 1700 horsepower into 2 G+ of acceleration forces the engine and chassis past sane engineering limits. Computer simulations can't fully predict survivability given such violence, so McBride relies on hard-won data from 340 miles per hour runs and 6-second passes, compiling 2 decades racing top fuel. Only long familiarity grants the trust needed to launch hard enough for record speeds without catastrophic failures. Yet despite the danger, costs and physical demands competing at these extremes over 60+ years of racing age, Larry McBride shows no signs of retiring from chasing the next 1,000-foot speed milestone. His 2021 quarter-mile explosion exceeding 270 miles per hour got waved off, but promises future success, breaking the timed 268 miles per hour run commemorated by exhibit at the AMA Motorcycle Museum. However long it takes, this team works relentlessly, shaving precious tenths, pushing two-wheeled velocity limits. 2. Attack. When motorcycle land speed racer Rocky Robinson unveiled his Attack Streamliner in 2012, its futuristic enclosure design barely resembled any two-wheeler sold to the public. But housed within gleaming carbon fiber lay technology and passion dedicated breaking the motorcycle land speed record, which succeeded in setting an astonishing 376 miles per hour record. Required streamliner bodywork, adding weight and drag, gets offset by immense power from twin turbocharged Suzuki Hayabusa engines delivering over 500 horsepower to the rear wheels. Special Mickey Thompson tires measuring 26 inches tall have enough cumulative material to absorb the penetration energy of a .357 bullet, hopefully sufficient durability resisting disintegration near 400 miles per hour. Piloting this Mayo aviation creation requires serious commitment and specially developed skills. Surpassing 350 miles per hour, lingering effects from minor external turbulence or imbalanced steering can quickly amplify into catastrophic crashes long before any riding aids might intervene. So Robinson relies on dedicated training, maintaining complete control and situational awareness. That discipline saw Attack certified by Guinness as reaching 376 miles per hour over Bonneville salt flats, going headlong into strong crosswinds. Conditions forcing Robinson apply opposite lock, deflecting the four-wheel streamliner as much as 20 degrees from straight line just to keep moving forward. 360 miles per hour in gusty conditions places complete faith in both man and machine against the elements. For his dauntless assault on the record books across 20 years of salt flat racing, Rocky Robinson stands among the greatest of speed pioneers, constantly expanding possibilities. Committing your body 400 miles per hour rocket sleds, sliding a few inches from disaster, pays little financial reward beyond satisfaction serving as temporary fastest human. Wherever that fragile limit hides in the future, count on this team relentlessly chasing boundaries where aerodynamics and traction intersect, sheer fearlessness chasing velocity. Before we get to the fastest bike in the world, I know you'll have some questions to ask, and now I will answer them. 1. What's the fastest road-legal bike by top speed in 2024? The answer is the BMW S1000RR, of course, with its staggering 193 miles per hour. 2. What's the fastest production bike by 0 to 60 acceleration? The simple answer is the Suzuki GSX-R 1000, which can do the run in 2.35 seconds. 3. What is the overall fastest bike in the world in 2024, regardless of where it's meant to be used? That would be the track-only Kawasaki Ninja H2R, 188 miles per hour. 1. Dodge Tomahawk. Unveiled by Dodge at the 2003 North American International Auto Show, the Tomahawk concept motorcycle immediately sparked imaginations with its daring vision for extreme performance. Dramatically diverging from traditional two-wheelers, the Tomahawk instead specs a 8.3-liter V10 engine sourced the Dodge Viper along with epic proportions on 4 wheels, classified officially as an exhibition vehicle. 500 horsepower and 525 lb-ft torque transmit solely rearward, making this creation play straight from drag racing rather than street riding rulebooks. Weighing 550 pounds with a 300-pound carbon fiber rider, its power-to-weight ratio nearly matches MotoGP prototypes. Simulations suggest 60 miles per hour arrives in under 2 seconds given traction, terrifically fast for any powered vehicle. Yet translating such output into actual speed records requires extensive stability engineering given its proportions. Front wheels measure 24 inches tall, larger than typical motorcycles use. Combined with an extended 106-inch wheelbase, high-velocity apex cornering gets replaced by straight-line targeting only. Target top speed simulations approach an incredible 420 miles per hour. Moving such figures beyond paper dreams requires mastering fearsome challenges when real-world forces strain such elongated structures. Most extreme concept vehicles never progress beyond limited demonstration runs, such the Tomahawk's fame staying parked on stage rather than atop salt flats. Fabricating working examples satisfying Dodge engineers has so far kept the model safely within fantasy realms, but within these shocking specs and dimensions lay foundational DNA for an entire legacy of 840-plus horsepower Dodges setting NHRA records over the years since 2003. Lessons learned taming limp-wristing Viper V10 power curves recast themselves into Charger, Challenger, and even Durango muscle. And glimpses of possible 8-liter displacements keep hopes kindling one day to yet witness Tomahawks set quarter-mile blurs.